All right, so are you ready to dive into some Formula One?
Always ready for some F1.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Today we're going to be looking at the 2025 preseason testing in Bahrain.
Ooh. Yeah. Very interesting.
I've got a whole bunch of reports here, analyses, and even some paddock gossip.
Ah, the good stuff.
It is the good stuff. Um, so much to unpack.
Yeah, where do we even begin with this?
Well, I think the elephant in the room, or really the bull in the room, is that Red Bull, the team that's been dominating, recently, seems to be having a bit of a stumble.
Yeah, it hasn't been the smoothest of tests for them, has it?
Not at all. I mean, the reports are saying they spent a lot of testing playing catch-up.
Yeah, and they had a decent showing on that final day, but there were definitely whispers the whole time of some persistent car handling
Oh,
problems.
yeah. What about that water leak on day one?
Yeah, not ideal, is
I
it?
mean, that must have really thrown a wrench in their plans.
Thrown a spanner in the works, as they say.
Exactly. And didn't somebody catch Verstappen's car covered in that Flovis paint late in testing?
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Isn't that usually a sign that a team is still trying to figure things out?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you usually see that Flovies, that colored paint, early in testing when they're gathering data.
Right.
So to see it that late suggests that they were still searching for answers.
Yeah. Makes you wonder what's going on in that garage.
Well, and Pierre Vache, their technical director, even admitted the test wasn't as smooth as they'd hoped.
So not the start that we would expect from the reigning champs.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say that.
In a field this tight,
Yeah.
I mean, any little hiccup could be the difference
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
between winning a championship and, well, not.
Yeah, for sure.
So maybe Red Bull won't be the ones to beat this year.
Well, maybe not. But there is another team that seems to be turning heads.
Oh, and who'd that be?
That would be McLaren.
Really, McLaren.
Yeah, they were consistently impressive.
What impressed you the most about them?
Particularly those long runs, they often tell a more complete story than just the one fast lap.
Yeah. And, I mean, let's talk about Oscar Piastri.
Rookie of the year.
Right, he's a rookie, but driving like he's been here for years.
Amazing talent.
He was on track for the fastest lap on the last day before a small error.
Unfortunate.
But you can see the kid has talent.
Yeah, he does. And McLaren as a whole seems to have carried over that strong development that they had at the end of last season.
Well, that's a good sign for them.
Yeah, but I do have to say, hold your horses before we crown them the new champs.
Why is that?
There were reports of rear instability with the car,
Hmm.
a ghost from last year that seems to be hanging around.
You think that'll impact them this year?
Potentially, it could really derail their season if they don't sort it out.
So we've got Red Bull struggling and McLaren with this question mark over their rear instability.
It's true. It's true. But
Mm.
you know what else is interesting?
With that.
We got to talk about Mercedes and Ferrari.
Oh, yeah, the battle for best of the rest.
Yeah, they look incredibly close in terms of performance, but they're achieving it in very different ways.
I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
Well, Ferrari, they've got that raw power. They seem to be flying on the straights, and their exits out of the corners are just incredible.
Yeah, but what about Mercedes?
Mercedes, they're all about precision. They're the masters of corner entry speed. It's amazing to watch.
Two very different approaches, but it seems like they're yielding pretty promising results for both teams.
Yeah, but you know what? They also have pretty different weaknesses, too.
Oh, this is getting juicy. Tell me about the weaknesses.
Okay, well, Ferrari seems to be struggling with front-end instability.
Oh.
Yeah, that could be a problem.
Especially on those high-speed corners.
Exactly. And Mercedes, they seem to be prone to locking up.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah, could lead to tire management issues.
So both of them have their work cut out for them.
Yeah, it'll be a fascinating chess match to see how these two giants, adapt and overcome these hurdles.
Okay, so we've got potential front runners, but they all have their own sets of challenges.
It's true.
But let's not forget about the rookies.
Ah, yes, the new kids on the block.
We've got a big batch of them this year, and they're all facing a pretty unique set of hurdles. I mean, limited testing time is always tough, but especially for those brand new to the F1 circus.
Yeah, it's really trial by fire, isn't it?
It is, and you can't underestimate the impact of that limited track time. I mean, Carlos Sainz actually spoke out about this. He said it's hard to imagine, making your F1 debut with only 3 days of shared testing.
I can't imagine.
The pressure must be immense.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And, within this rookie group, you've got different levels of experience as well.
Right. We've got those like Piastri and Duhan who've at least dipped their toes into F1 waters.
Yeah, they've had a little taste.
But then there are those like Bortoleto and Hare who are stepping into these incredibly complex cars with far-left experience.
Yeah, they're going to have a steep learning curve.
They are. Bortoleto also has the added pressure of potentially driving the slowest car on the grid,
Oh, that's tough.
which makes it even tougher to learn and to shine.
For sure.
And Hare, while showing flashes of speed, has also had some rather erratic moments.
A bit of a mixed bag.
It's going to be interesting to see how they all develop throughout the season.
Yeah, definitely a lot of potential there.
Now, before we get too deep into rookie analysis, let's sprinkle in a little bit of technical drama, shall we?
Oh, I do love a bit of drama.
Me too.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the reemergence of the Mini DRS controversy.
Ah, yes. The saga continues.
To refresh everyone's memory, Mini DRS involves flexing the rear wing's main plane on the straights to reduce drag and gain top speed.
Yeah. Clever, but controversial.
Last year, it caused a real stir. Some teams were really pushing the boundaries of the rules.
They were pushing it to the limit.
They were, and the FIA tried to put a stop to it over the winter break with those new regulations.
Huh.
But it seems like some teams might have found new ways to play with the concept.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's some interesting footage showing rear wing movement on several cars, especially the Mercedes and the McLaren.
So they're back at it.
It seems so.
Well, I think it's definitely something that the other teams and the FIA are going to be watching very closely.
Yeah, right now it's not a major issue.
Not yet.
But any whiff of rule bending in Formula One tends to ignite a firestorm.
Oh, it does. It does, especially when it comes to something that directly affects performance, like DRS.
Okay, so let's do a quick sweep of some other interesting nuggets from testing before we wrap up this first part.
Okay, rapid fire round.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We've got Williams, who seem to have taken a big leap forward. They could actually be battling for points regularly this season.
Yeah, they were looking good out there.
They were, and then we have AstonMartin, who unfortunately didn't exactly light up the track.
Yeah, a bit underwhelming.
To put it nicely.
Yeah, and the rumors are swirling that Fernando Alonso is not thrilled with the car's lack of pace.
That's not a good sign.
Not at all.
And, of course, no preseason testing would be complete without a few bizarre incidents.
Oh, there were plenty of those.
Remember the Haas bodywork issues?
How can we forget?
Parts flying off the car like confetti.
It was incredible, wasn't it?
I'm surprised they had anything left on the car by the end of testing.
It was Haas doing what Haas does.
It was classic.
It was.
And who could forget that rogue bus taking a wrong turn and causing a red flag?
I still can't believe that happened.
And the shattered window from a flying stone.
Oh, my goodness.
It seems like there was never a dull moment in Bahrain.
Never a dull go.
So we've covered a lot of ground, but there's so much more to unpack.
Yeah, we've only just scratched the surface.
In the next part of our deep dive, we'll delve deeper into the potential pecking order, analyze those key technical developments, and really start to explore those storylines that will shape this season.
It's going to be good.
It is going to be good. Stay tuned. All right, so we've laid the groundwork. We know who's hot, who's not, and where the potential drama might unfold.
Yeah, the scene is set.
It is, so now let's get into the nitty-gritty. Based on everything that you've sent over, what's your take on the pecking order after testing?
Ooh, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
It is. It's early, but if you were a betting person...
Well, if we're going by long-run pace and overall consistency...
Yeah.
I gotta say, McLaren is looking pretty sharp.
Really?
Yeah, they were consistently up there on the timesheets.
They were.
And Piastri just seemed remarkably at ease behind the wheel for a rookie.
Yeah, he does seem to have a cool head on his shoulders.
Yeah.
But let's not forget they've got that rear instability issue to sort out.
Yeah, that's the big question mark, isn't it?
If they don't fix that, it could really derail their championship aspirations.
Yeah, it could. It could. It's a big if.
It is.
But you know what?
Yeah.
If they can banish that ghost,
Yeah.
they could be the team to beat.
It's almost like we're seeing this classic underdog story in the making.
Yeah, I love it.
Me too. Okay, and speaking of potential contenders,
Yeah.
we cannot ignore the two giants in the room,
Ah, yes, the big boys.
Mercedes and Ferrari.
Classic rivals.
They seem incredibly close in terms of performance,
They do?
but their strengths are so different.
It's true. It's like comparing apples and oranges.
Yeah, both delicious.
Yeah, exactly.
But in their own way.
Yeah, and you're right. Their approaches are so distinct.
I mean, what stood out to you about their different approaches?
Well, Ferrari, they seem to have that raw power.
Yeah.
That engine is just a beast, and they're so strong on corner exits.
Yeah, they just fly out of those corners.
Yeah.
But what about Mercedes?
Mercedes, well, they're all about precision. You know, they
Yeah.
enter corners like they're on rails.
It's just amazing to watch.
Yeah, and they're so smooth.
So it's this classic F1 battle, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Straight line speed versus cornering prowess.
Yeah, who will come out on top?
Like, you wonder which approach will reign supreme over the course of the season.
Well, we'll have to wait and see, won't we?
And let's not forget, they both have their weaknesses.
Oh, yeah, everyone's got their Achilles heel.
Right, those little chinks in their armor that could come back to haunt them.
Exactly.
What are you most worried about for each team?
Well, Ferrari's front-end instability could be their undoing on those high-speed corners.
Oh, yeah, if they can't get that under control.
Yeah, and Mercedes, well, that locking up issue could lead to some serious tire management problems down the line.
So basically, we've got a nail-biter waiting to happen.
Oh, for sure.
Two titans, each with their strengths and weaknesses battling it out.
The clash of the titans.
It really makes you wonder who's going to adapt better. Who's going to find that extra edge?
Well, that's the beauty of it, isn't it? We just have to wait and see.
I know, I hate waiting.
Me too.
And then there's the wild card,
Oh, who's that?
Red Bull.
Ah, yes, the reigning champions.
They came into testing with the target on their backs.
As they always do.
But they didn't exactly look unbeatable.
No, they didn't, did they?
That's putting it mildly. They had that water leak, the handling gremlins, and let's not forget about that late-stage Flauvé's appearance.
Yeah, a few things to iron out.
Not exactly the display of confidence we're used to seeing from them,
No, not at all.
but I'm hesitant to write them off just yet.
Yeah, me too.
Red Bull has a knack for in-season development. You know,
Oh, yeah, they do.
they could easily turn things around.
Yeah. Remember what they did last year?
Oh, yeah, they started slow.
Yeah, but they came back swinging.
They did, so yeah, it'd be foolish to count them out, I think.
Agreed.
But for now, let's shift gears a bit and talk about the midfield,
Yeah.
because things are getting spicy there too.
Oh, yeah, the midfield battle is always exciting.
Always. And this year looks to be no exception.
Definitely not. I mean, Williams seems to have made a massive leap forward.
Yeah, they really do.
They could be a real force to be reckoned with this year.
I think so. And Alpine is looking pretty solid as well. You know, they're continuing that upward trajectory from last season.
Yeah, good for them.
It's great to see these teams stepping up their game, shaking things up a bit.
It keeps things interesting.
Exactly. You know, a close, unpredictable midfield battle.
Yeah,
It's what we all want.
for sure.
But on the other side of the coin, we have AstonMartin.
Ooh.
They came in with such high
That's
hopes,
so much hype.
but their performance was well underwhelming,
Yeah, to put it nicely.
to put it nicely. And those rumors about Fernando Alonso not being happy with the car's pace,
Ooh, not a good sign.
not a good sign at all.
No, they've got a lot of work to do if they want to be anywhere near the front.
Yeah, I think they've got their work cut out for them, and then there's Haas. Bless their hearts.
Oh, God.
They always seem to find a way to keep things interesting.
They do, they do.
Those bodywork issues were spectacular.
Oh, it was like they were shedding parts every other lap.
I know, I'm surprised they had anything left on the car by the end of testing.
I know, me too. It was Haas doing what Haas does.
It was classic.
Classic Haas.
So we've got a potential shakeup at the front, a tight and exciting midfield battle, and Haas doing Haas things.
What more could you ask for?
I know it's a pretty promising start to the season, wouldn't you say?
Oh, absolutely. It's shaping up to be a classic year.
But before we get too carried away, let's remember this is all based on testing.
Yeah. The real test begins when those lights go out in Melbourne.
That's right.
And that's the beauty of F1.
Yeah.
You know? All the predictions and analysis
Yeah.
goes out the window once the racing starts.
It all goes out the window. Anything can happen.
Absolutely. And we'll be here for every twist and turn.
We will be. So now let's dive into those juicy technical details and explore some of the storylines that will be making headlines this season.
Oh, yeah. Let's get into the nitty-gritty.
That's coming up next in the final part of our deep dive. Okay, so we talked about the teams, we've analyzed the pecking order, and now it's time to get into the tech stuff.
Yeah, the nerdy bits.
I love the nerdy bits, and, you know, let's face it, Formula One is as much about what happens off the track as it is about those wheel-to-wheel battles on the track.
Oh, absolutely. The innovations, the drama, the politics.
It's all part of the show.
It is.
And speaking of off-track drama, let's start with the return of the Mini DRS saga.
Oh, yes. The flexible rear wings are back.
They're back to haunt the FIA,
It seems so.
even with those new regulations, aimed at clamping down on it.
Yeah, you'd think they would have learned their lesson.
You would, but some teams, they might have found new ways to exploit the concept.
Oh, they always find a way.
They do.
Yeah.
I mean, those onboard shots from testing showed some interesting rear wing movement.
Oh, yeah, particularly on the Mercedes and the McLaren.
Especially those two.
This is going to be a key point of contention this season.
Oh, I think so.
Especially if those teams manage to gain a significant performance advantage from it.
Yeah, we could see protests, technical directives.
Maybe even some heated arguments in the paddock.
Oh, for sure. I can't wait.
It's like this game of cat and mouse, isn't it?
It is.
The teams pushing the boundaries of the rules, and the FIA trying to maintain a level playing field.
Classic Formula One.
It really is okay. And while we're on the topic of technical developments,
Wow.
we can't forget about the evolution of these ground effect cars.
No.
I mean, we saw some pretty interesting variations in side pod design and floor concepts during testing.
Oh, yeah. Lots of different ideas out there.
It's like each team is trying to crack the code, you know?
Find that perfect combination that unlocks the most downforce.
It's a constant arms race.
And with the regulations still relatively new, I mean, we could see some pretty significant performance swings throughout the season.
Yeah, definitely teams will be bringing upgrades constantly.
So the development race is on.
Oh, absolutely. The teams that adapt and innovate the quickest will be the ones reaping the rewards.
Okay, so we've got the tech stuff covered, but what about the human element? What storylines are you most excited to follow this season?
Well, for me, the biggest one has to be the championship battle.
Yeah,
I mean, it's wide open this year.
it really is.
We've got at least 3 teams, McLaren, Mercedes, Ferrari, who look capable of fighting for the title.
And let's not forget about Red Bull.
Yeah, they might be down, but they're not out.
They could still turn things around.
Oh, absolutely.
So it's going to be a battle royale.
It is. And, you know, within those teams, we've got some fascinating driver dynamics to watch.
Yeah, give me some examples.
Well, can Piastri keep up his impressive form and challenge the veterans?
That's a good question.
How will Hamilton and Russell coexist at Mercedes, especially if they're both in contention for the championship?
You know, they've got a history.
They do. They do. And let's not forget about the rookies.
Oh, yeah.
They're under immense pressure this year, especially with that limited testing time.
Yeah, it's going to be sink or swim for them.
It really is. It'll be interesting to see how they adapt to the demands of Formula One.
Especially those, who are stepping into less competitive cars.
Yeah, they're really going to have to dig deep and find that extra something to stand out.
They are. And then, of course, there's the unpredictable nature of Formula One.
Oh, yeah, you never know what's going to happen.
I mean, will we see controversial penalties that change the course of the season?
Who knows?
Unexpected crashes, technical failures that shake up the order.
It's all possible.
Those are the moments that keep us on the edge of our seats. right?
Absolutely.
They make Formula One so captivating.
It's the drama, the unpredictability that makes it so exciting.
Couldn't have said it better myself. So there you have it, your deep dive into the world of Formula One 2025 season.
We've covered it all, haven't we?
We've covered the teams, the tech, the drama, the excitement.
All the ingredients for a fantastic season.
And we are so excited to see how it all unfolds.
I know, me too. It's going to be a roller coaster ride.
It is. But before we let you go, we want to hear from you.
Yeah, what are your thoughts?
What are your predictions for the season? Who's going to be crowned champion?
Which team will surprise us?
Let us know in the comments.
And don't forget to like and subscribe for more Formula One deep dives.
We'll be back with more analysis and all the F1 news you can handle, so stay tuned. Buckle up and get ready for a thrilling ride. The 2025 Formula One season is about to begin.